This is my real and raw reaction right after I failed the 3-hour glucose test. So here you go. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye!
You're living healthy, you just had bad genes. My grandfather had at least 1 heart attack. My dad had 4, including his left.
So, apparently I failed my glucose test, and I'm still in denial. You know, the 1-hour glucose test that you are required to take so that just to check if you have gestational diabetes. Well, this morning I went in to go take the 3-hour one because I'm still in denial, but I went to go take the 3-hour one, and I threw it up in the first 30 minutes. You know how you have to drink it within 5 minutes? I threw it up. That sucks. So I'm gonna talk to my doctor and see if I can just retake the 1-hour one, because I don't think I did it right the first time, because they say that it's usually best if you fast, but I didn't fast and I didn't. Anyways, so this freaking sucks. Hey, Kirsten Morley here with the Morleys. I just wanted to stop on by and share some updates with the pregnancy. We are currently 30 weeks and 2 days, which is so crazy. I can't believe I feel like this whole pregnancy has gone by super slow but fast at the same time, which is whatever. Anyways, so we have a few pregnancy updates that I'm kind of excited about. Some things that actually happened this week or the last couple of weeks that I am super embarrassed to share, but it's just an update. So first things first, so we live more in a rural area, and the hospital here does not do VBACs. So most people don't know this, but my first birth, I did a vaginal delivery, and then my second birth, I did a C-section. And the only reason why I had to get the C-section was because he was coming out hand first, and they were really afraid. They tried to get his hand down, it just wasn't working, and for some reason they were just really worried that the cord, the umbilical cord, would take its place, and then it would really be an emergency. So they just decided that it would be best, in our best interest, for the health, for my health and baby's health, to just get a C-section. And so that's what we ended up doing. It was the worst. I'll go into more detail about that another time, but it was a really hard delivery. So I personally did not enjoy it at all. It was actually my toughest recovery from birth, and I wish we would have been able to find a different way to get his hand out of the way. But anyways, everything is said and done. So second baby was a C-section, and then third baby was VBAC. But here in the area that we live in, the hospital, their policy says that they don't allow VBACs because they're not necessarily equipped for a VBAC, if that makes any sense. So what we have to do is we have to drive an hour and a half to a new doctor. And for the last 30 weeks, or for this whole pregnancy so far, I have been going to an OB here where we live, and he's been great, but I would just feel more comfortable going to a hospital that allows VBACs, and like they're okay with it, and it's my preference. So and also my husband's preference, and the facility that we'll be going to is way nicer, and they have birthing tubs or labor tubs that we can actually use, which I am so excited for. So excited for that. But Honestly, if I had a choice, I would totally do a home birth, but the way that, because we live in a more rural area, I want to put my husband's mind at ease and everybody else's mind at ease. And also, anyways, it's not ideal. If we were in like a bigger city, then I would probably be more apt to do it, or closer to a hospital that always does VBACs, or they have the option for an emergency C-section, then, you know, I'd be all for it. But it's just not looking like that. But anyways, long story short, we found a new doctor, and we saw him today. And there were a couple of things that we talked about that I was a little concerned about. So recently, by the way, he is for VBACs, which is really cool. He supports them a lot. They just have a few policies that I'm not super excited about. However, we'll talk about it. So something that he said was, they do prefer you to have an epidural if you're doing a VBAC, just in case it needs to be an emergency C-section or it needs to be a C-section. But in that case, I personally do not want an epidural. If you like the epidurals, you go get them, because that's totally cool. Like, I know there are some women who are like, I even have sister-in-laws and sisters who are like, I'm getting the epidural. But for me, it has been a way quicker recovery. There's so many other benefits, and I just want to feel like a woman and be able to birth my children naturally, or as naturally as possible. There are other options for pain management that I will probably take advantage of, you know, like the nitric oxide, something like that, laughing gas, which I am kind of excited to try. I haven't been able to talk to my doctor about that, but it is something I'm excited to try, just different options. And then also I will be doing hypnobirthing with this one, and I am so excited. I've been practicing, I've been meditating every single night to just help my body relax, and it's been helping so much with my sleep. I'm just really excited about it. So if you haven't tried hypnobirthing, 10 out of 10 recommend. But like, that's the thing, like when you go into birth, like if you do not have the mindset of going natural, like practicing beforehand, then I personally recommend just either trying it or just getting the epidural. Not medical advice, but that's just my personal preference, my experience with 3 births and 1 on the way. But anyways, so back to the drama here. So a couple weeks ago, I took the glucose test, the 1-hour glucose test, and I failed it. So with every single baby, the 3 prior to this one, I have never failed. And so failing this time I was like, the doctor was like, oh yeah, you failed the test, so you're gonna have to do the 3-hour test. And then he started explaining what I'm gonna be doing, and I was like, haha, you're funny. I literally laughed at him. I was like, you're funny, that's fine, that's hilarious. And he's like, no, you failed it. And I was like, what? Long story short, I don't know like the medical terms, but the blood sugar that I was at was on the borderline, like typically not the percentages, but the ranges is like from 140 to 180. And like, that's considered to be like a fail. And mine was exactly 140. And for me, I was like, what, did I do it wrong? Anyways, just cause like, I don't usually have problems with my blood sugar. Maybe I get a little cranky, but isn't that everybody? But anyways, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll just take the 3-hour glucose test, I'll pass it, it's fine, and then we can go on our way. scheduled that, and it was like at 7 o'clock in the morning, which I am not a morning person at all. Oh. Anyways, so the way that the 3-hour glucose test works is you go in fasting. That's why it was so early in the morning, because it's the only time I could do it. Or they draw some blood and they test it to make sure that you can continue. So they were like, okay, here's your drink. And it's like twice the amount of glucose as the 1 hour, which I was like not excited for because I didn't really enjoy the last one. Then literally 30 minutes later, I threw it up. And I kid you not, that was the worst experience I've ever had at the hospital, because first of all, there were people there and I was so embarrassed that I was like throwing up in front of people, and I didn't have a vomit bag. I had to like run to the garbage, and it was awful. And then this is going to be a little bit TMI, but I had the worst flatulence I have ever had afterwards. I came home and my husband was like, "Are you okay?" My stomach hurt. It was awful. So if you can pass the glucose test, the 1 hour one the first time, get it right the first time so you don't have to do the 3-hour test. And I started looking up all of the symptoms of the 3-hour glucose test, like the side effects and everything. And honestly, I was really surprised at how many side effects there were. I was like, yep, I had that. Yes, I had that. Yes, I had that. And it was just, anyways. So I had taken it yesterday. This was yesterday. And all day my stomach had been like really just gurgly and awful. I took a nap when I got home and it was bad. Anyways, long story short, because it was such a bad experience for me, I went to the doctor, our new doctor today, because this was the first time that we've seen him. And I asked him, I was like, "Are you going to make me take the glucose test, the 3-hour glucose test again?" Because first of all, I think I did the first one wrong, and because they took me back like maybe 10 minutes early. And second of all, I wasn't, with my previous pregnancies, they made you fast for a couple hours, and I didn't. I had other stuff, I had eaten other stuff because the doctor said it was okay. And third of all, I never want to go through that again because it was awful. I never want to do that again. Anyways, so we were chatting with him and he was like, technically, I can just say, because you are on borderline, like 140 to 180, because I was exactly 140, he can just say it's above 140. Anything above 140, like you have to take the glucose test, or you have to do the 3-hour glucose test. But anything below, or 40 and above, or above 40. So he's like, "We'll just watch you. We'll just see how you are." And I was like, "Thank you so much." I was really worried just because it was awful and I've never had issues. And I never want to go through that again. Anyways, so luckily he's just like, "Let's just not worry about it. Let's just pretend like it's below, like just barely, you're good. And then, if you have issues, then we can just watch you test your blood sugar. We can test it next time, if like just a double check." Anyways, so I'll be watching my diet this week for the rest of the pregnancy. I only have 2 months left, 10 weeks left, which is awesome. But yeah, that's your update. That is the drama this week. I can't believe I failed the glucose test. Like, that's crazy to me. Totally in denial. Literally laughed at my other doctor. Was like, "Haha, you're funny." Whoops. Anyways, so there's that. And don't forget, so if you appreciate any of these videos, definitely like and subscribe. I will be having more pregnancy updates, and some of my other videos will be coming out. We're going to be putting together the nursery. I'm going to be sharing some of the things I've been getting on sale as far as like baby stuff. I'm really excited to share a lot of our experience because, like I said, we had to start over when it came to stuff. Like, my littlest is 5 years old, almost 5 years old. He's 5 years old tomorrow, and we're super excited for him to be 5, but at the same time we're like, oh my gosh, you're growing up. So that's pretty much it. We'll be sharing a lot more pregnancy stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye. Okay, that's why we're gonna take a family picture.
Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over.